Ladies and gentlemen, this contest, number 10, is 6 3-minute rounds of boxing in the super welterweight division. Introducing to you firstly, boxing out of the blue corner, wearing the gold, coloured shorts trimmed with black. At the weight he scaled 10 stone, 11 pounds. Tonight is his 184th professional appearance. He hails from Atherton. Here is William Warburton. And opposing him, boxing out of the red corner, wearing the black coloured shorts trimmed with gold. At the weight he scaled 10 stone, 9 pounds. His perfect, unblemished record this evening reads 8 contests, 8 wins. One of those wins coming by way of knockout, presenting from the Blundell camp via Wigan. Here is the undefeated James Moorcroft. Timekeeper at the bell, Chris O'Connor. Referee is Andy Brook from Leeds. 6 rounds.
Gents, you both know the rules. Obey my commands at all times. Defend yourselves at all times. Touch gloves. Let's have a good, clean fight.
Here we go then, undoubtedly the toughest test of James Moorcroft's career so far. Against the always game, always dangerous Willie Warburton.
Yeah, and Willie's one of the many Centurions. He's 26 wins, 147 defeats and 10 draws. Of his 26 wins, he's had 5 by stoppage. Of his many defeats, he's only had 2 by stoppage, so you've got to really go some to get William out there.
Yeah, absolutely. You seem to see him every week on these VIP shows. And it's certainly a box you've got to tick if you're buzzing around these weights.
Yeah, and he had a good win in April against Aaron Morgan. Willie, he won by 6-round stoppage. Then back in March, he beat Lloyd Campbell, who was undefeated at 6-0, and he beat him on points. At the turn of the year in February, William had a draw with Daniel Kennedy, and his previous win prior to that was Gary Ormrod in September of last year, and he won that one on points. So although he loses a lot of fights with Warburton, he does pop up with the occasional result. So James Moorcroft will be keen to avoid being one of those little moments of glory on William Warburton's record.
Yeah, both men have started quite well here. Yeah, Warburton's thrown a few shots.
Yeah, Moorcroft's just trying to establish his range, isn't he, in the distance, but he's been Warburton's bum rushing him a little bit.
Yeah, it's been a decent opening round this for Moorcroft. Just getting that jab going.
David Smith has said, "Go on, James, punch his loaf off." That's a great one, Dave. I wish I'd have thought of that.
Yeah, I'm surprised you haven't. That's something you'd come out with normally.
I've seen so many William Warburton fights, and that's one that I've never came up with. Maybe because I've got to be objective towards the fighters, but I'll claim that one when I'm watching as a fan one day.
A nice jab from Moorcroft. And Warburton just coming back with his own shots. And Warburton's certainly showing a bit of ambition in there so far. Nice work from Moorcroft to the body, and Warburton coming back over the top.
Just showing David Smith's comment to John Evans, another legendary boxing writer, and John's not heard of that one either, so you've definitely won the William Warburton pun off there, Dave. I wish they were surprised for you, but maybe we'll get you a slice of bread or something, and maybe a full loaf.
Just you talking then, there's been a decent opening round this. You see Warburton's come with a little bit of ambition today. He's thrown quite a few shots early on.
Yeah, he's not all his own way, has he, so far, Moorcroft. He established his range early, but Williams landed a couple of jabs there. He pops his own jab as well, so interesting opening round.
Adam Conlon commenting on the Facebook stream saying Moorcroft's engine could be a factor in him becoming one of only a couple of men to stop Willie Warburton. We'll have to wait and see about that one. But how many times have we said that it'd be a statement if you stop Willie Warburton and then he's heard the final bell?
Yeah, and I've seen fights where I've seen Warburton take an absolute pounding for the first couple of rounds, and then he somehow managed to recuperate and see the final bell. So you really have to give Warburton a beating to get him out of there. Adam Conlon saying Moorcroft's engine could be a factor if he's going to become one of the few men to have stopped William Warburton. Layla Booth is saying Warburton won that round. Alison Blundell thought it was a good first round for James. John Evans agrees, he thought Warburton took that first round as well. Ashley Fletcher's asking what the jokes are, why do we keep joking about bread? We're just trying to earn our crust.
Oh dear. We need to stop them now.
Yeah, for anyone who's confused, whenever William Warburton fought, we'd always try and find as many bread-related jokes based upon his surname being the name of a bread manufacturer. But he's just here tonight trying to earn some dough, so we won't be making any more of those kind of remarks.
I hope you haven't got any more.
No, that's it, pretty much. I'm done and dusted. Unless Warburton gets toasted. But as we were saying, he's a good measuring stick, Warburton. He wins a couple, loses more than he wins, but he always comes and gives up the best he can, and he's a really good measuring stick as to a fighter's potential and whether they can actually solve problems in there. Yeah,
and he's come into this one with a bit of ambition. Talked to a few people around him before this one. And Moorcroft is in for a tough night tonight. Nice right hand to the body from Moorcroft.
Wally Aberysmith is saying, come on James, cracking first round. Ashley Fletcher says he thinks we're just loafing about on the commentary. That's definitely not the case.
Moorcroft just got up the tempo here a little bit with that jab. Nice right hand over the top, as I said that.
Yeah, and he got a left hand to the body as well. If Warburton did take the first round on a couple of people's cards, then it's just a sign that Moorcroft needs to step things up a little bit.
Yeah, and he's just starting to step it up a little bit in there, Moorcroft. He landed a right hand, Moorcroft, and took one of his own in that exchange.
Yeah, and he's really concentrating on what he's doing as well. So you'll know from that first round, if you didn't know otherwise, that Warburton's not someone you want to be messing around with. You just really got to... Macaulay McGowan said it's 50-50. Warburton 50-50, I see what you did there. Philly Moggs is saying Warburton's probably the most skilled journeyman in the UK, and I wouldn't argue with that.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many of these fights that Willie's been in with that he's either deserved to win or you can see that he could have got the win in there.
John Evans is saying that James needing to improve his accuracy. Sean Darbush says needs to spread him around the ring a little bit more.
It's getting out of hand this now.
Yeah, I think we've created a monster there on Facebook, but I'll keep these all for my future punning files. But let's say Warburton, tough campaigner. He had a really good first round, Warburton, but then I think Moorcroft came more in that second round, and I've given them one round apiece so far.
Yeah, absolutely. It's turned into a good little fight, this one. We're scheduled for 6. Yeah, we said Moorcroft had to up the pace a little bit, and he certainly did do.
Yeah, he just had to keep things brisk, and he did that in the second round. Didn't do anything foolish. He just made sure he gave William a lot to think about in that round. A little tap of his cornerman there from Moorcroft in between rounds.
Seconds out. Round 3.
So third round coming up, and Warburton comes right out looking to establish his own jab as well, and he's also looking to take the centre of the ring, Warburton, and slinging in a few hooks as well. So he's definitely not feeling the pace here, Warburton, as you would expect.
Yeah, Moorcroft just landed a right hand to the body then. You see he's been told to up the pace a little bit. It's turned into a really interesting contest, this. Nice work to the body from Moorcroft. A good start to the round.
And Lee Gormley on Twitter enjoyed the fight between Muhammad Ali and Ben Fields. He said it was a close, high-tempo fight. A lot of people did agree it was close, and with it being a 4-round fight, if you don't get the draw, then you are going to have a couple of rounds either way. So that's probably what made the scorecard look less fair than it actually was.
Yeah, Moorcroft just landed a nice jab to the body, pushing Warburton back on the ropes. Yeah, like we said, Moorcroft just started to up the tempo a little bit now.
John Evans is saying nice pitter-patter shots to the body from Moorcroft early in the round. I'd agree with that. He's been touching the body well, Moorcroft. But nice left up there from Warburton as we speak.
Yeah, that's one of the tricks that Warburton uses when Moorcroft just pushing down the back of his head. He just took a knee to buy himself a few seconds.
But they're good shots again from Moorcroft. He's showing this quality in this round. He's giving Warburton a bit for grilling at times in this one.
I'm glad you've missed half of these on the Facebook stream.
Yeah, some of them are coming through. We'll save these ones for next time, guys. Just keep them coming. Philly Moggs has said that he's been looking at Moorcroft's social media, and Moorcroft has said that this is the biggest test of his career so far, and that's a fair statement to make. People look at Warburton's record and maybe poo-poo it a little bit, but like we say, he's a tough guy who pops up with the occasional upset.
Yeah, and fighters know when they get in with Warburton, it is normally the toughest test that they have had.
Nice right hand there as well from Moorcroft. It's been a good round for him, this one so far. It's been the clearest round in his favour so far in the fight.
Yeah, Steve Torkington describing him as a journeyman who comes to fight, being the best of both, and I think that's pretty spot on, isn't it, with Willie? You know, if you're not at the top of your game when you fight him, he certainly can expose you. And he's upset a few prospects in the past.
Takes a quick knee there, Warburton, but that was just more of a stumble under pressure.
Yeah, Moorcroft just a little bit frustrated in that round, I think. And Warburton dropped to his knee a few times. And Moorcroft pushing the back of his head. And the referee just having a few words with Warburton about that. To reach the halfway point in this one, Terry, how have you got it?
So far, I've got it 2 rounds to 1 for Moorcroft. Thought Warburton took the first round, Moorcroft the second 2 rounds after that. So if Warburton could come back and take this 4th round, that'd make it very interesting over the next couple.
Yeah, absolutely. Scheduled for 6, of course. Still plenty of time to come in this one. Yeah, Philly Moggs has got it 2-1 as well as you, Terry. And I think that's a pretty fair assessment of the fight so far.
Seconds out. Round 4.
John Evans saying that James landed a mighty white uppercut in the 3rd round. I'd have to agree with that one. And now he's on the jab, the bread and butter punch of boxing. Most people are seeing it the same way we've got it. They've got Moorcroft up 2 rounds to 1. I think that's a fair assessment of the fight we've seen so far.
Yeah, Moorcroft just up the tempo going into the 2nd, and he's kept that going. Same in this 4th. He started this 4th round well.
And again, this time the referee, Brook, won't officiate this contest. He won't produce a scorecard. That'll be done by one of the referees at ringside as he's learning his trade. Paul Bennett said you need to be smashing journeymen up if you want to make it, but I think that's a bit of an harsh comment. As we mentioned, Warburton's a really tough guy. No one really stops him, and he does bring the odd upset, so you can't be blasé about it. As we've just seen, he's landed a right hand on Moorcroft there. You've got to be circumspect with someone like Warburton.
Yeah, you'll struggle to see videos of Warburton getting smashed up very often.
No, you're not going to see that, are you? And as we say, he knows how to look after himself, Warburton, as well, so most people when they fight him expect a distance contest. It's just how well you can handle him and how well you can handle the pressure that he brings in regards to his own attacks.
Yeah, nice work again to the body from Moorcroft. He's just putting in the kind of performance you need to do against Willie Warburton now, isn't he?
Yeah, he's doing what he needs to do. they're getting tied up a little bit at times in close, but you expect that. A couple of good jabs there from Warburton, but Moorcroft managed to evade the third one as well. Martin Lomax saying that Moorcroft looks that bit more polished, which I think is a fair assessment of the fight so far.
Yeah, interesting one. He came from a white collar background, James Moorcroft, and stereotypically they're the kind of guys that love to get into a brawl, but he's got good fundamentals, Moorcroft. I know they work on them a lot in the gym.
A bit messy there in the neutral corner. Warburton trying to find a few upcuts of his own there, but Moorcroft has smothered him a little bit and managed to see out that little bit of action there in the corner.
And coming towards the end of this one, the last 30 seconds or so. Well, for me, Moorcroft, another round in the bag this one. Just managed to start backing Warburton up against those ropes. Nice right hand from Moorcroft again. There have it, Warburton coming back with an uppercut of his own.
Yeah, good round for Moorcroft there, I think. I should say Warburton was a bit more on the back foot than we previously seen him in other rounds as well. Joe Pennington trying to G Warburton up a bit in the corner, give him a bit of advice.
Remember, live across multiple platforms tonight, VIP Boxing on Facebook, and only full fights as well, so comment on that, we'll get your comments read out. Hashtag VIP Boxing Live on Twitter, usual hashtag for all the VIP shows, and VIPboxing.tv is the website. You can catch post-fight interviews and also backstage footage on Instagram, and the interviews Lee Hogan will be doing throughout the night will be on YouTube very soon. Make sure you catch them as well with all the guys in action tonight.
Round 5.
And Matt Sankey there saying a couple of times in that round Warburton was sandwiched against the ropes. I think that's a fair assessment. He sometimes got trapped in the corner a couple of times as well, but I think Warburton's going to have a look to try and re-establish himself this round.
Yeah, he's certainly come out on the front foot. Warburton behind that jab. Yeah, that was good from Moorcroft, just using his feints to draw something from Warburton and landing his jab.
Yeah, and Warburton fell short with his jabs there as well. And as we say, when people look at Warburton's record, it's not the most attractive record out there, but he's got a long established history of taking people the distance, of testing people as well, and obviously throwing up the occasional winning the occasional fight and throwing up the occasional draw as well, so it's always a good stiff test for someone Warburton.
Yeah, Mickey Young just saying he'd like to see Moorcroft use feints to try and draw something from Warburton. He just started to do that at the start of this round.
Yeah, and John Pegg was saying earlier in the night, sometimes if you're not able to open someone up, doing the occasional feint and then throwing your own shots, maybe getting the second and third shot in as well is always a good option.
Yeah, it's so difficult to draw anything from these journeymen. I think Moorcroft's done quite a good job of it to be fair so far. Well, he's landed a good few shots of his own. Nice jab again.
Yeah, and people forget when they see the two fighters in the ring, they forget, you should say, Moorcroft's background. He's not been in boxing for as long as Warburton, so on paper, although he's a prospect, Warburton knows more of the tricks of the trade than him, so this is a good performance so far from him.
Nice little work from Warburton, and after that first round, you could see a few people were just starting to think maybe it was Warburton's night, but Moorcroft done really well to stem the tide and starting to dominate now.
Yeah, you say after that first round, I thought Warburton took that first round and Moorcroft could have gone back to the corner and felt a bit sorry for himself, but as you say, he's come back, he's boxed well. He's trying to set a few traps for Warburton, taking a few punches himself, and he'll learn more from this fight than he may have learned from some of his previous ones.
Yeah, and he knew that he would going in as well. You know, he was under no illusion this would be the toughest night of his career. And probably he's proved to be as well.
And it'll be a nice boost for him as well, a little confidence boost if he grabs the win and comes out of this fight for them with the victory as well.
Nice jab to the body again from Moorcroft. That's been a shot he's thrown well so far. Stabbing the jab down to the body. of Warburton. Right up to the body landed as well. Come towards the end of the fifth and another Moorcroft round.
Yeah, and they both just held a little bit on the ropes there and grabbed a little bit of a breather, I think.
Yeah, and Warburton will start to see the finishing line now. 1 round to go this one. Been a good performance this from James Moorcroft so far, like we said.
Yeah, he's been calm and composed, doing what he needs to do to win the rounds and win the fight, and making sure that he's not making any mistakes or doing anything silly or drastic.
Yeah, it hasn't turned out into the fight that we thought it would be though. We thought it would be a barnstormer this one. Moorcroft done really well just to control Warburton.
Yeah, we said a few times we thought this might be the fight of the night, but the fact it's not gone down that way is credit to Moorcroft. He's controlled the action, controlled the fight, and he's done it with more style and panache than I expected.
Yeah, and he's certainly showing things tonight, James Moorcroft, showing boxing skill, showing ability. He seems to be one of those guys that rises to the occasion a little bit and ups his performance when he's in with better fighters. Did that against Nathan Hardy, and he has done today.
Yeah, obviously we've got to wait to see what happens in the last round, but I think Moorcroft will be satisfied with his performance so far.
Yeah, and like the case when everyone gets him in Warburton, there's plenty of things they can learn when they watch this back from the fight. Warburton just catching Moorcroft a couple of times then.
Yeah, he's come out and had enough of going in this last round, hasn't he, Warburton?
Yeah, and Moorcroft more or less got this fight in the bag if he's careful and just clever about it.
Yeah, Warburton's on the back foot a little bit, you can see the end come in. But Moorcroft's just sticking to his jab and catches the shot there and had to do a bit of bobbing and weaving himself.
Yeah, just as he said that, he caught a few shots there, Moorcroft, and Warburton landing a right hand as well. Just over a minute and a half to go now. And nice work that from Warburton.
Yeah, he fought well off the ropes. Yeah, he fought well off the ropes there, Warburton, didn't he, in that little burst?
Yeah, it's been a good round this from Warburton so far.
Yeah, it's a good round for Warburton. Yeah, it's been a good round for Warburton. He could actually end up, if he wins his round, topping and tailing the fight, but going down by a couple of points on the judges' cards.
Yeah, absolutely. That wouldn't surprise me. A nice right hand over the top from Moorcroft. Yeah, and like you said, Warburton showed ambition in the first and the last of this bout.
Yeah, and credit to Moorcroft, he's not really giving him anything that he can that could work with in those upper rounds as well. I think Moorcroft did a good solid boxing performance. It's just this last round Warburton's come into the fight a little bit more.
And moving to the last 30 seconds of this one. It's been a good round this for William Warburton. And Moorcroft's taken a few shots in the final session. But if we're right, he should have done enough so far if he can make it through the last 30 seconds. The referee doing well to let him work on the inside there. Head's going dangerously close then as Warburton landed a right hand.
Yeah, it's got a bit rough late. I think Warburton he's got that natural clock in his head after all those fights he's had of knowing when to start pouring it on for the last 30 seconds. So what was a good round for Warburton?
Yeah, good round for Warburton, and on our score counts, Moorcroft's taken that one, but it's not been a straightforward night.
Yeah, I scored it 58 to 56. I wouldn't argue with 59 to 57, but we'll see what the which referee scored the fight and how they've got it. But it's certainly Moorcroft will have learned a lot from that particular one.
Macaulay McGowan, we're reading your comment. I'm not going to read it out. It's not even that bad, I just don't want to give him the satisfaction of reading it.
Oh yeah, it's a good one that. Like I say, I'm going to be taking the transcript of all these comments and liberally using them over the course of the next couple of months.
And then claiming them as your own.
Then claiming them as my own, making a few half-baked jokes. I think we've just been asked what's been the best bread-related joke, and I think one of them was smashing the loafing was one of the ones I think that stood out tonight.
I can't believe it's been brought up again. I thought we were past it.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 6 hard-fought rounds of super welterweight action, referee Darren Sargentson, scoring for Andy Brook, has adjudged this contest 59 points to 56 points for your winner. Now undefeated in 9 professional contests, the pride of Wigan, James Moorcroft.
So 59-56, that's a fair scorecard.
And a fine and gallant effort, as always, William Warburton. 184 fights, not out.
So a good learning curve fight for Moorcroft. We've had a few bready jokes as well. A few of them were a bit stale, but some of them were quite good, so we thank everyone for those.